Is now the time to be afraid? Well, the answer might be yes, because things are not getting any better. Consumer prices are exploding. There's a housing crisis. There's a railroad crisis. There's a worker shortage. Our supply chain disruptions just continue to pile up. Inflation is getting out of control, right? The housing market's crashing. Stocks are falling. People are being laid off. And our federal government still doesn't know what the best way for us to get out of this mess actually is. They just keep on looking at different ideas, discussing other legislation, and then Congress goes on recess. Well, I've said this time and time again. I will continue to talk about it, but we cannot rely on the U.S. government for our help anymore. We just can't. And this isn't just for additional stimulus checks. This is for things like, food, SNAP benefits. Yeah, we are still getting, SNAP EBT cards. We're still getting, additional, food at schools and things like that. Seniors are still getting EBT. But here's the problem. We can't rely on things like Social Security because that, who knows, might not be around for the next 15, 20, 30 years. Okay, so we have to rely on our own resources. We need to find ways to lower our own expenses, increase our income. Those are things that we can do. Now, I do want to provide something to you. I have a special deal for you guys. This is only going to last for the next 7 days. Today is actually my 35th birthday. So what I decided to do, I try to do this every single year, is I decided to give a discount on one of my courses, and that is Thrift Store Profits. I'll put a link to that course down in the description box below. But in Thrift Store Profits, I show you what items to buy at thrift stores. And you may not know this, but I still run a very profitable eBay and Amazon reselling business. Most people don't know that, but I do. Now, one of the things I teach you inside Thrift Store Profits, and again, I am taking this course from $47, giving you a $35 discount. It takes it down to $12. That's it. A $12 course that's going to walk you through all the steps from finding items, determining their value, how to list them on eBay, list them online, take pictures, writing a description, and sending them off to the buyer. I show you all that stuff. All you got to do is go and check it out using the link down in the description box. But let's get back to the video. Because, yeah, you can make some extra money. That's great. But again, here are the problems that we're currently facing. And this is one of the reasons why I tell people, don't just worry about the problems that are coming up. Fix it with a solution. And that is make some more money. Now, here's one of the problems. Prices are going up. Prices on everything are going up. Energy prices are soaring all across the United States. I got a report just from the other day from a community member that said that her prices, her bills, energy bills, utility bills, increased more than 700% over the past 2 years. She lives in the South. Let me know, has anybody seen prices soar over 700% in the past 2 years? Let me know down in the comment section below. What are you paying more for, and how much more is it? The crazy part, though, is that the expectation is that utility bills are going to increase because guess what? Summer's over. Summer's over. We're going to go into the colder months. And what normally happens in the colder months? We turn on our heaters. Yeah, we turn on our heaters. We spend more time indoors. That means we're going to spend more money. Now, one thing I want you to do, try to prepare a little bit early. Have multiple ways to stay warm. This could be additional blankets, buy additional coats, use candles, use other heaters, right? Make sure your home is as energy efficient as possible. All these things are things that you can do, and a lot of these things don't cost much money. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because we have been getting multiple reports over the past few weeks that more than 20 million U.S. households are about to see their homes cut from all energy. And it's due to delinquent bills. Now, Just out of the most recent report, we are seeing that in most cases, the amount of people that owed money, for one, it climbed from about $403 in additional charges to now it's up over $800. Now, this is a very important figure to understand because the problem is about 50% of all U.S. households couldn't afford to make a $1,000 emergency payment if they were forced to. And I'm talking about like no way. They couldn't go and pull money out of savings because they don't have it. They couldn't go and cash out a retirement account because they don't have it. They couldn't go and use credit cards because they're maxed out or they don't have them, right? And they just don't have the money. So 50% of all U.S. households couldn't afford a $1,000 emergency payment. Now, of these 20 million households that are going to be pretty much cut off from all electricity, they're not going to have electricity, they're not going to have water, they're not going to have gas unless they can make a payment. This is going to be scary. And that's just for utilities. But let's talk about food for a second. Food prices aren't stopping. Just this month, it's the report we got yesterday, eggs were up 2.9% month over month. Annualized, that's an increase of 34.8%. That's just for eggs. Eggs alone. We know bottled water costs more. I actually went to the store just the other day. I ended up getting a bottle of Smart Water. And normally it costs, it's usually like $1.99. Well, it wasn't $1.99. It was $3.99. I even got a message from somebody just last night. And they said, I can't even afford to buy bottled water anymore. I used to buy it at my local grocery store for $3.99 for a 24-pack of water. Now it costs $6.99 for the exact same pack. And I know people are going to be like, well, why would you buy bottled water? Now, I do this all the time because I'm always on the go. Things are happening. Just go to the fridge, grab a bottled water, jump in the car, and we go. So I understand this. But at the same time, if we can use a reusable bottle, that would save us a little bit of money. I know it's a little bit more work, but it would save us some money. Now, here's the big problem. And this deals with food, deals with lumber, coal, wheat, flour, corn syrup. Again, I've talked about this over the past week, is that we are just days away from a potential rail strike. Railroad workers could potentially strike. This is like between 60 to 90,000 workers is what we're hearing are on the verge of striking. If this happens, this means that 7,000 trains are pretty much just going to be sitting idle. They will not be moving at all. Now, according to White House officials, and some didn't want to be named, the Biden administration has been preparing for a potential railroad strike or worker strike for the past few weeks. These discussions have happened over the past few weeks. So this isn't anything new. But what we are seeing now is that the Biden administration is coming out saying, we're trying to get it done. But really, they've been preparing for weeks to see a potential strike. Now, just the other day, the White House press secretary, she said this, and I quote, "We are working with other modes of transportation, including shippers, truckers, and air freight, to see how they can step in and keep goods moving in case of this rail shutdown. The administration has also been working with relevant agencies to assess what supply chains and commodities are most likely to face severe disruptions." Let's talk about that. She says that they want to see about other modes of transportation, include shippers, truckers, and air freight. Now, here's the problem. Let's just go with truckers. Truckers and trucking in general is more expensive. It's faster, but it's more expensive than rail. Now, let's look at air freight. Air freight is faster than trucking, but again, more expensive. So what they're looking at is to find modes of transportation that are faster. Well, for one, that are actually going to be moving, right? Because rail, if they get shut down, well, nothing's going to happen there. But now they're looking at something that's going to be faster, but more expensive. What does faster and more expensive mean to you? I know for me, if I bought something from Amazon and I wanted it faster, guess what? It's going to be more expensive. And if it's more expensive, guess what? That's going to be more upward pressure on inflation. Yeah, inflation has come down this past month. It went from 8.5% down to 8.3%. The problem is that we're expecting it to go back up. So now what they're talking about is, hey, let's give more work to truckers who are already overloaded with work, right? Let's give more work to airlines and air freight when they're already short-staffed. Does this seem like a problem to you? It does to me. Now, I'm not the smartest guy. I can vouch for that. But I'm pretty good with common sense. If something is going to be faster and more expensive, well, that means we're paying for it. We are going to be paying for it. So you think lumber prices were already a little high? Yeah, they're going to go up. You think it was too expensive to buy food, and we're going to send everything through trucks and air freight? Yeah, we're going to pay for that. It's not a great situation to be in. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people over the past week have asked me, why doesn't Congress just step in and make these unions accept the deal that's on the table? And that's a logical question. And it makes sense because Congress has said over the past couple of weeks that they have the power to either extend the no strike rule, which they can do that, or they have the power to make the two sides accept a deal. Now, here's the thing. If Congress were to do either one of these things, the most likely option would be to extend the no strike rule past 60 days. Now, they could do it for 30 days. They could do it for another 60 days, right? They could do this and hope that the two sides reach an agreement. That would be the more likely option. And the reason is actually pretty simple. If Congress were to come in and say, no, you workers need to accept this deal, okay, no striking, no nothing, you have to accept it. This is an order, pretty much. Well, it sets a bad precedence. Because if Congress steps in to avoid this strike, then what would stop them from coming in and stopping a strike for truckers or for airlines, right? Food manufacturing and so on. Nothing. That Congress should step in every single time there's a potential strike. Now, is this really the way that we want to go? Because I can tell you right now, I don't want Congress stepping in every single time I have a problem, right? Every single time that there's something that I'm trying to work on, Congress just comes in and steps on us and says, you know what, we'll take over, we'll do it. It's not what we want. Again, it sets a very bad precedence. So that's why they cannot do that. Now, here's the other thing I want to just touch on very quickly. I'm not going to get too far into this, but you know what things are very bad in the economy when banks are now trying to get people to go and get mortgages, right? Do whatever they can to go and get a mortgage. And I say this because housing prices are still fairly high. They're starting to come down. But what we are seeing is there is a potential crash coming. And I say this because what we know is right now it's too expensive because of mortgage rates, because of the prices of housing. It's too expensive for many households to go and get a loan. So what do? They rent. Well, here's the problem. Banks make money when you go and get a mortgage. Now, Bank of America, they decided they are going to launch a new mortgage program that would offer a zero money down policy. Now, this is exactly what happened back before 2008 when the housing market crashed. Banks are now starting to do this again. They're now starting to talk about zero money down. No money down, nothing. You can pretty much get in, you got a job, got good credit history, you can get a mortgage. Do you see how this is an issue? Because what we know is housing is coming down. So it would be foolish to go and buy a house that's $500,000 when what if we see it drop to $350,000? How long is it going to take you to get that equity back up so you are not underwater in your loan. So that's the issue, is banks are now willing to give zero money down mortgages, even when values are dropping. This is insane. This is how we know that right now everything is messed up. When banks are willing to give a mortgage to somebody when they know what they are giving, what the asset that they're going to get a mortgage on is dropping in value. Are they just expecting all these people to be upside down their loans? Potentially. But again, this is the world that we live in. So, is now the time to be afraid? Potentially. But again, I will keep you up to date on everything that is going on. So again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.